365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety, copies, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the All Sports, All Plays Network. My name's Will Polston, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a great debate set for you tonight. If you didn't catch our first rounds of debates, we are here into the second round. We're down to the Elite Eight of our debates, and we have a rematch from the first time the ASAP Network did our debates, as the defending champion, Coach Cam, will come out and try to defend his crown against Jay Ness. But before we get to them, I got to bring out the judges first. First, representing Real Talk, he is a man that we see on this network quite a lot. He brings the realest talk to NBA and NFL news Mondays and Thursdays. Go ahead, bringing in Chris Brown.
Will, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. This is the matchup everybody's waiting to see. This is the kickoff to the second round of the ASAP debates. This is the rematch. Man, these two guys, look, they was talking a little trash. They was throwing a little jabs at each other, so I'm excited to see what they got.
I tell you what, they brought the heat the first time that they faced each other, and they were ready to get right back into it. Jumping in the first matchup of our debates in the second round, we'll see exactly who else can move on, but who's going to start it off tonight. But before we get to them, we got to bring in our other judge, a man who needs no introduction himself, representing one half of Jock Talk on Tuesdays. He's the Swiss Army knife of the ASAP Network on every show, basically on the network, Mr. Trey Colas. Trey, what's up, man?
Oh, good, man. I like how you pronounce out my last name, Colas. Like Colas. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this. Since the brackets came out, I was pulling for Jay in the first round because I wanted to see this rematch. These two are kind of even in my eyes. It's going to come down to rebuttals. It's going to come down to words, right words. So be careful. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be thrilling. I can't wait to get into it. So let's not waste any more time. Well, let's get into it, man.
I tell you what, man, it really does. It does come down to some individual words. Sometimes we've seen that already with a debate that the three of us have already judged. So, and that's honestly how our first man got here. It came down to the right words. It came down to the right wording. And ultimately, it came down to a nice little pre-debate nap. But he's here, and he is ready to go. He is awake now, so we have got him here. Mr. Jay Ness, the other half of Jock Talk. Jay, the challenger. He's coming out here. He's already off to a good start in the new rounds of debates, able to take on Freddie, and we're here in the second round to come rematch Coach Cam. You know, Jay, you fell short the first time. But obviously the debate rules are a little bit different this time. You know the topics coming into it. You got your chance to do your research. How you feeling?
Hey, man, even last time we didn't know the topics and it was off the top. I'm always here. I'm bringing the smoke. I'm always ready for it. And this one specifically, I was trying not to talk because I was waiting for this one just as much as y'all. So let's jump on in this one.
I tell you what, he's hungry and ready to go. But to bring in the reigning, defending ASAP Network debate champion from Real Talk, Coach Cam. Coach Cam, you got a title to defend. You're coming out here, the defending champ. You took on Jay in the first round. Our last debates made it to the finale and able to defeat actually two of your judges tonight in that finale. And now you're here yet again to bring it up after a first round bye. This is your first debate in the new ones, and you're going back up against Jay. How you feeling?
Hey man, I feel great. You know, I have no reason to feel other than that. You know, I'm prepared. You know, I've been ready for this. You know, I had to watch a whole round of debate, so I'm ready to get after it, and I'm ready to, you know, protect my crown. Like, you know, for sure.
Hold on. we gotta adjust some of these comments, okay? What?
Eat your
Listen.
food, coach.
That's big bro right there. You know,
Listen, big bro.
that's how we
that's
come
words
with
that-
it. You know,
I
we
like-
you
I
know,
like-
it's just food on the plate.
that's energy right there, Jay. Listen, that's motivation for you, Jay.
You
And
know,
clearly,
that's how. Unfortunately, that's how we get. That's how we look at it sometimes. You know, to get to our next step is just
hey,
cook food. That's all.
that's
I tell you what,
man.
no matter who is food, no matter who is the predator and the prey, I can tell you both of them are going to eat tonight. I can promise you that they're both going to bring smoke. So,
Cam, if you being a champ, let me ask you a question. This is how we're gonna start it off.
Sure.
Do you want to, you decide? Do you want to go first, or do you want your opponent to go first? Since you're the champ.
I'm gonna go first on this one.
Okay.
all righty.
Okay.
So, due to that, Coach Cam will get the first question for anybody joining us for the first time on Debates, watching at home. Here's how things are going to go. In the first round of debates, we had 3 questions, but we're spicing it up a little bit now that we're in the next round. We've added up to 5 questions. Each member will get a minute and a half to go, and then they will be offered a 1-minute rebuttal. You can take it or not. I suggest you do, but it'll come down to that. Both will get a minute and a half to give their initial points, a minute to rebuttal, and then we will discuss as judges, myself, Chris, and Trey, in our group chat. We will figure out who we were going to go with, and we'll go all the way to 5. We'll take a little 30-second timeout, maybe even a little bit longer, depending on how close this gets, and we'll figure out a winner, see who's moving on to the final 4. But until then, Jay, Cam, y'all ready?
Always.
I'm ready.
All right. So the first question will go to Coach Cam first. And Coach Cam, Jay being a member of Jock Talk and you being a big college football fan yourself, there's obviously there's reps whenever it comes to certain schools. Certain schools are really good at putting out certain talents whenever it comes to a certain position. But the question for you is, as of late, what school has been DBU? What school has been able to produce the best members of the secondary at the NFL level? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, time starts whenever you start talking.
Well, when you look at DBU, I look at the passing there. So I look at 2000s on when they really start throwing the rock, and I'm gonna name out some list of names to you, and you tell me one thing they got in common. Antoine Winfield, 3-time Pro Bowler. Nate Clements, Pro Bowler. Chris Gamble, solid player, 9 years, great corner. Bradley Roby, still in the league, effective. Eli Apple, Gary and Conley, Marshawn Lattimore, Denzel Ward, Jeff Okuda, Damon Arnett. You know what those are? Those are first-round draft picks since 2000. That's what Ohio State has produced over the years. And not only, if you hear me say what I said there, Pro Bowlers. So they're not just producing any just first-rounder. They're producing high-level players. You've seen before Marshawn Lattimore touched the New Orleans Saints team, they were known for giving up a lot of points in the secondary. Drew Brees was saving them by averaging about 30 points a game, but the defense wasn't there. Marshawn Lattimore was one of the first picks on that defense to change the culture of that defense. Now you go up against a Mike Evans, and he can lock that down. You see 1 catch for 3 yards and 1 touchdown in 3 games. You look at Denzel Ward, another player, changed the Browns' culture on their defense. Lockdown corner, Pro Bowl player. Oh, I forgot. I haven't even mentioned the hard-hitting safety of Dante Whitner. He like to be called Hittner. So, I'm talking. So you look at all those things and the talent alone, it speaks for itself. No one comes close when it comes to Ohio State and DBU.
Time.
All righty. So Ohio State is the DBU to Coach Cam. Jay, you will have a minute and a half to go and present your points. Are you ready?
Always.
Time starts when you start talking.
I was thinking about this question, and I went with dominant. I'm glad you brought up Pro Bowlers because quality. You can throw out backs, you could throw out players in the NFL, but quality. Right now, it's LSU, man. You got Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Jamal Adams, Tre'Davious White, Morris Claiborne. I mean, those ones just off the top, and those are all recent. You talk about Pro Bowlers. Between those 5 players I named, there's a total of 7 Pro Bowls there. I mean, Patrick Peterson had 140 starts himself. When you talk about DBUs currently, because I know that you mentioned that as well, Cam, you have to go LSU. Who's on the field? Who's dominating? Who's in the limelight? Who's constantly going to the big games? Who's constantly making big plays in the playoffs? I mean, Jamal Adams had a whole conference of the NFL, pitching stuff to try to get him to get moved around. So, I got to go with dominance. And I think over this last decade that me and you have been enjoying football, even the past 15 years, LSU's DBs have not only been plentiful but been dominant. And I picked those ones because there's multi different talented players there. I mean, Tyron and Patrick as flamboyant as they are in their game, and then Jamal Adams, he hits hard as a little thumper. So.
All right. Fellas, that is your minute and a half to give your DBU. Coach Cam going with Ohio State, Jay going with Louisiana State. Coach Cam, you are offered your 1 minute rebuttal. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Time will start when you start talking.
Well, you mentioned all these names. You mentioned the Tre'Davious Whites and, Patrick Peterson. All those are great players. But you realize out of high school, those were top five players in the nation. Those were 5-star athletes. You could have put them on any college in the country, and they would have been NFL players. What has you talk about? When you talk about schools, we talk about schools, DVU. We talk about development. Ohio State takes 3-star athletes and develop them. Denzel Ward was not a 5-star walking on campus. He was a 3-star, developing him into a first-round corner. Damon Arnett, 3-star, developed him into a first-round corner. Malik Hooker developed him into a first-round safety. So when you talk about DBU, you want to talk about development. They can take a 3-star player and develop them into a first-round talent. And also, you want to talk about Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams being dominant. Jamal Adams has 2 interceptions for his career in 4 years. That's not really that dominant to me. To me, Jamal Adams is a glorified linebacker in the box. To me, if you be honest, he ain't no ball hawk. He ain't out there making game-changing plays. That's why first year he's been in the playoffs this year.
All right. Coach Cam brought the heat with his rebuttal. Jay, you are offered 1 minute rebuttal as well. Are you ready?
Always ready, man.
Time will start when you start talking.
Again, man, I go back to quality. You could pick on Jamal Adams, but Jamal Adams was drafted in 2017. He missed a year. He's already an All-Pro. He's only had 46 NFL starts. When you look at it again, Morris Claiborne. You look at Eric Reed. You look at Ronald Martin. You look at Jalen Collins. You look at these players and the caliber. They're consistent. They lay the helmet every night. I don't care if they were number one from high school. That says even more about what LSU does. They go out, they grab defensive backs, and they slot them in the NFL, and they perform. They're in the big dances every year. They're cornerstones of their defense. I mean, I don't know about you, but Arnett versus the field of LSU players, I'm going to take the field of LSU players every single time. So, again, quality over quantity. Want the best, not the rest.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, fellas, for a great first round. Tell you what. Definitely brought the heat. It's a nice little now you shake the rust off, especially Cam. Cam hasn't debated in a while. So got the rust off. We're back in it. I know that question number 2 will be brought to you by Chris Brown. Or no, is it Trey? Trey. All right.
Hey, dude, come on.
I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm just off the rails. All right, Trey. You got the whatever it's called, the honor of bringing these gentlemen to question number 2, and Jay, you will get the first chance.
All right, fellas. As we know, baseball has been played for couple centuries now. We've seen it transform to a lot of different ways of playing, hit and run, shifts. Now we're in the home run era. In this whole long centuries of baseball, who is the greatest home run hitter in y'all's estimation? Jay, whenever you're ready.
I'm going to stay on my quality over the rest. Barry Bonds, not just how many home runs, it's the fashion of the way he did it. I mean, I'm going to go to the record breaking years when Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds were walking up to the plate and life was stopping for whomever was near a television at the time. You didn't even have to like baseball. And you stopped in the grocery store when Barry Bonds or Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa went up to the plate. Barry Bonds started out his career stealing bases and slapping bases, slapping the ball around in the field around the bases, and decided to become the world's best home run hitter of all time. On top of that, Barry Bonds over 21 seasons had 19 seasons with 20 plus home runs. Of his 762 total home runs, it got him a total of 1,996 RBIs. And if you look at the stats, I'm gonna wait for my rebuttal to go up against who can be second. But if you look at the stats, man, and compare it, it's unheard of what Barry Bonds had to go through and deal with to even come close to the home runs that he had. So again, it's the quality over the rest, man. You're talking about Barry Bonds against the field. Barry Bonds is the best home run hitter of all time. Period.
All right. Good solid points there, Jay. Coach Cam, who's the best home run hitter of all time? Whenever you're ready, man.
Barry Lamar Bonds is a great answer. That's honestly a great answer. But we talk about home run hitting, not just hitting. If we talk about home run hitting, you have to go with Babe Ruth. I understand he just has 715 home runs, a little bit shy of Barry. However, did you not know that in his first 4 years, he didn't even really get plate attempts because Boston thought he was a pitcher? So you take away 4 years out of those 22 years that both him and Barry both played the same amount of years. So you took away 4 years away from Babe Ruth where they didn't even know he could hit the ball the way he hit it. So you talk about 715 could easily been close to 900 home runs for his career. He also played, never in a full season has he hit less than 35 home runs when he was healthy. Also, he did this in an era where the parks were huge. You're talking about 484 feet straightaway center at the Polo Grounds. You're talking about some home run fences that was back as far as 530 feet. So home runs wasn't even thought of in the 1910s and the 1920s before Babe Ruth brought it along. He was the home run man. He was the whole start of the live ball era. Because remember, he played in the dead ball era where parks was bigger and also where pitching had, you could scuff the ball, you could spit on the ball, and that was legal. And that dives on you at the last minute. It's definitely hard to hit a spitball.
Good points by both of them. Man, it's going to come down to rebuttals for me. I don't know about the other judges, but Jay, you have 1 minute of rebuttal. Start whenever you're ready, man.
A spitball. We're going to bring up a spitball. We were lucky if they were thrown in the 90s. The amount of pitchers that were doing that at that time were very few and far in between. Secondly, we're talking about pitchers that went out there and pitched 9 innings every single time. There wasn't no reliever, setup man, closer, middle reliever, long reliever. These pitchers nowadays have breaks and they're coming at you throwing 100 miles per hour for as many pitches as they can, and they're going to sit on the bench. Okay, we're talking about the caliber of pitching has increased incredibly. Our pitchers now are on roids just like our baseball, our hitters. You know what I'm talking about? So when we look at this, the average speed back when Babe Ruth was in the 60s was like 90.2. Since has been 97 miles per hour since Hank Aaron came in. So after Hank, the other thing is, dude, when you look at this, the hit by pitch, Barry Bonds 106 times, total bases on balls 2,558 to 43. Okay, and 2,000. The amount of plate appearances is ridiculous.
Ooh. All right. Coach Cam, 1 minute of rebuttal. The time is yours whenever you start talking, my brother.
Now, Jay, I need you to stay with me. We're talking about home runs. We're not talking about walks. We're not talking about hit by pitches. We're not talking about RBI. So we're talking about home runs. So you want to talk about spitballs was far and in between? No, it wasn't. People were scuffing the ball like crazy back in the day to get any kind of advantage as a pitcher. So that information is not correct. However, you want to talk about pitching as advanced, okay, and faster the ball. Well, heck, the harder the ball's thrown, the farther it goes. That's how gravity works. Also, do you know how the ball changed so much for it to create home runs? The ball has changed since it was back in, once again, the dead ball era. So much has changed. And you want to talk about home runs, and you say that you just said the steroid era. Heck, We don't know if Barry Bonds was on steroids or not. We don't know. I mean, so that's the factor there because Barry Bonds was in the steroid era. Now, and you want to talk about pitch, you want to talk about parks, it's easy. Short porch, Great American Ballpark, easy. New York Yankees short porch, easy. That water hitting in the water in San Francisco, it wasn't far. It's just the wall was high. Easy parks.
Clarification.
No.
Okay.
No. Nope. That's part of the debate, my brother. I'm sorry. I know you're a co-partner of mine, but I can't pay favorites, man. Sorry.
We heard the rules, man. You get a minute and a half, and then you get a minute.
I know it's challenging. You gotta deal with it.
You just gotta make sure you get what you want to say in there, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure Cam's the same way.
I'm just hoping the listeners was listening. He rebutted me on a totally different subject.
Yeah.
Now, hey, listen. So this is a good debate. I'll be honest. Coach Cam, you're gonna start this one off. So the first question we talked about, college football. Yeah. Let's stick with college football. Who is the greatest collegiate quarterback of all time?
Wow.
Coach Cam, the time starts whenever you start talking. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. Now, when you think about, the best quarterback of all time in college, you have to go with Tim Tebow. Because basically, if you think of Tim Tebow, he changed the game. He changed the way you think of college quarterbacks today. It was either back before really Tim Tebow, you was either an option quarterback or you was either a pocket passer quarterback. He made it to a point where everybody in the nation said, look, I need one that needs to do both. I have to find a quarterback that's going to be able to do both. And you talk about the ultimate winner. He steps foot on campus instantly. They're like, hey, we know we got Chris Leak, but he needs snaps. So let's get him in there. He was helping in the run game, help him win one national title. Come back as a starter 2 years later, help him win another. You talk about a Heisman Trophy winner. Top 5, his last 3 years finished top 5 in Heisman Trophy votes. You talk about a guy that I'm not even talking about on the field. You talk about off the field, his intangibles, his leadership, what he brought to the locker room and that team. We know him as, giving that inspirational speech in the national championship game when they was down at halftime. All of a sudden, they come out, boom, win the game. That's something that hang on your hat, and everybody will remember when you think of college football and national championship games. Tim Tebow, what he done doing threat-wise, 9,000 passing yards, 3,000 yards rushing. It's unparalleled to none of what we've seen. We won't see anything like it pretty much again, really, as far as winning and putting everything together.
Woo! What an answer. Jay, I'm coming to you. In your opinion, who is the greatest college quarterback of all time? The time starts whenever you start talking. Are you ready?
Yeah. So I'm going to give an honorable mention to Charlie Ward before I do this because I can't believe neither one of us was going to put him on the list. But Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart did this in Southern California where the spotlight's on you double. Where, that's what they're expecting from you when you're in that. 99 touchdowns. And the thing that separates Matt Leinart from the rest, I look at Peyton Manning, Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, again, Charlie Ward, like I said, is 3 interceptions. Close to perfection. Like I said, I'm going to keep going with the same theme the whole show. Quality over the rest of the field. 37 career wins with 2 losses. With a 99 touchdown to 3 interception ratio. That is darn near perfect. That's what you want out of your quarterback. That's what you want out the pilot. You don't get into an airplane and say, man, this dude does it 50% of the time. You want the pilot, the leader, to be 100% as close to perfect as you can get. And in the football world, quarterback, 99 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It's like every time he touches the ball, you think about money. So Matt Leinart did it. And he did it in a fashion that kept super talented players on his field the opportunity to showcase their talents at all time. He spread the ball around the field. He did it all different types of ways. In big games, big shows, didn't matter. Matt Leinart, best quarterback in the college history.
Okay, we heard you guys' initial debates. Coach Cam, you get to start the rebuttals. You have 1 minute, my friend. The time starts when you start talking. When I put my finger up and giving you a warning that you got 10 seconds left, so just be aware of that. Whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Now, when you say Matt Leinart, Yeah, that's great and all, but you gotta look at the talent around him as well. He had some superb talent. When you talk about Reggie Bush, and you talk about Dwayne Jarrett, you talk about those guys, all those guys at the receiver spot, Lindell White, they were loaded. Tim Tebow, made a lot of those guys. If you want to look at it, to be honest, and also if you think about it, look at it, 145 touchdowns, 57 on the ground. This, like I said, he revolutionized the way we look at dual threat quarterbacks in college. And also, if you want to talk about Matt Leinart, let's look at the degree of difficulty. Pac-12, SEC. Tim Tebow did this in the hardest conference in football, year in and year out. 3-year starter. He dominated for 3 years as a starter. That's enough in itself when you talk about when you go up against Georgia, Alabama, LSU, all those year in and year out. And sometimes you got to face them twice in the SEC title game. The degree of difficulty goes to Tebow.
Okay. Jay, you heard his rebuttal. You have 1 minute. The time starts when you start talking. Are you ready?
Number one, man. Number one. That's what you're after. 37 wins, 2 losses. That sounds like number one. They finished first in the AP poll 2003. That 2004 BCS championship team was ridiculous. You're right. But dude, you guys had a football game plan built to Tim Tebow. The running quarterback, I give it to him. He changed the game at the time. It was nice. He ran around the field. But we said the best quarterback, the ones that throw the ball. I wouldn't get Tim Tebow over Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning didn't even win a Heisman. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, at the end of the day, I want perfection leading my ship. Quality over the rest. 99 touchdowns to 88. 3 interceptions to 16. The proof is in the pudding. 37 and 2 career wins. Rose Bowl champion, BCS champion, and a Heisman. And he had a better NFL career. That's a better quarterback to me. I don't know what else to say about that one.
Time. Woo! Y'all brought it.
All right. Tell you what. Oof. All right. We're having a tough time. I can tell you that in the group chat here. It hasn't been a great time, but we're having fun. We're definitely having fun. I hope you guys are too. So we're going to get down to question number 4. And fellas, if I'm not mistaken, this one's going to you, Jay. This one will be coming to you first. We've talked a lot about the NBA on this network, and you and Coach Cam are big fans of the NBA. But whenever, we talk about the big scores, we talk about all the points, we talk about all this, but who is the best defender in the NBA, in NBA history? Who is the best defender in the game? Jay, you will have 1.5 minutes when you start talking.
Flipping through, looking at the names and just thinking about it, I was going to put Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain in here, but I'm going to leave them out of the discussion just for stats' sakes. I'm going to go with Timmy Duncan. And it isn't necessarily this my answer for all on-ball defender. This is all around. Again, quality over the rest. We're talking about a guy that shows up in the playoffs and turns into a man. Like, the dude just flips on a switch and shuts everything down. You don't go inside. I mean, remember, dude, he came in the league and won a championship his rookie season. The dude means business. He shows up on the court against the best every night, no matter who they thought they were. It could have been Shaq. It could have been, it doesn't matter. Timmy Duncan, he would hold down the paint. If you brought him outside, he would be able to pressure on the perimeter. He can switch on and off. He could slide his feet, block shots, steal the ball, rebound, positioning at the same time. I mean, the dude is one of the greatest on the floor, and it's proof in the pudding with the amount of championships he won. He locked down, anchored down, and stayed on the same NBA team. So it wasn't one of these prima donna dudes going around and looking for help all around, whether it's a coaching or different players. I think Timmy Duncan is one of the most stand-up guys in the NBA's history, and he's going to be my pick for defensive player.
Time.
All right. Jay, we've heard your points. Now we turn it over to Coach Cam. Coach Cam, the best defender in NBA history. The 1.5 minutes will start when you start talking.
Oh, Jay, I can't believe you gave me the layup, my brother. the best defensive player ever to grace the floor is Hakeem Olajuwon. You talk about a player that leads the NBA in career blocks. You talk about a player that is for a center at 7 foot is ninth all time in steals. Now you talk about back in the day where it wasn't much switching going on because of the big men were so big and wasn't athletic enough to get out there and switch. Hakeem was one of the first big men to be able to get out there and switch to guard a guard driving down the lane and block a shot up against the backboard. He played in the dominant center era where he always made Patrick Ewing, David Robinson look flat out crazy on both ends of the floor, mainly on the defensive end of the floor as well, where they could be held less below their averages. You talk about where Shaq said in the interview that Hakeem was by far the hardest he ever went up against because nothing phased Hakeem, none of his elbows, none of that phased Hakeem. So he was just in a different space defensively. And you talk about someone that could be 7 foot tall, be able to throw your shot up against the backboard, be able to bang with you, be able to step out on pick and pops and guard faster athletes. There's no doubt about it that Hakeem is the best defender of all time, the best defender to grace, to grace the floor. He went up against the likes of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So it's nothing that Hakeem can't do on the defensive end of the floor. He can guard perimeter players, he can guard inside, and that's something flat out just Tim Duncan just can't do.
All right, fellas, we've heard your points. Now time for the rebuttals. Jay, you will have a minute to rebut what Coach Cam said. Time will start when you start talking.
We're talking about a 5-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA MVP. We're not talking about a chump, man. This ain't a late. This is a guy that, even though Shaq said Hakeem Olajuwon was the worst for him to go up against, this is the guy in Timmy Duncan that has went up against Shaquille O'Neal many times and has came away a 5-time NBA champion. You know what I mean? So again, when we're looking at this, keep in mind, since the illegal defense era, Tim Duncan is the number one in blocks still. He's only 800 blocks behind Hakeem Olajuwon, which is a lot. But we're talking about during a time you can plant yourself down low and allow your other guys to kind of move around with the defense, and you stand there as the anchor and protect that rim. You know, you can really set down an anchor back then and have a rim protector like that. Dikembe Mutombo, Hakeem Olajuwon, Sean Bradley. I'm talking about Tim Duncan. Stay out the paint, guard your man, but still get back and protect that rim. And that's what he did.
All right. Cam, you'll have your minute rebuttal. Time will start when you start talking.
You talk about, step out, wait for your man, get back to your man. Hakeem did that. Hakeem did that better than Tim Duncan did, and the stats show that. However, when you talk about when I coach, I always say the possession is not over until you get the rebound. Hakeem led the league in rebound multiple times, something Tim Duncan has not done. He's averaged 11 rebounds for his career. That's part of defense as well, because like I said, the possession is not over until you get that rebound. And when you look at, Tim Duncan, yes, he's a great defender, but like I said, he's nowhere near versatile as Hakeem. Like I said, when big man wasn't even thinking about switching, Hakeem was stepping out on guards, guarding him. I remember guarding him stepping out on switches, guarding Penny, guarding Penny going to the rack. And I mean, and this is the athleticism that Hakeem shown. He was one of the first. A lot of people say, KG, but Hakeem was a unicorn, and it shows in his stats.
Tom.
All right, fellas. It's getting hot. It definitely is getting hot. Chris gets the honor to bring you gentlemen the final question. Chris, please make sure you remind these gentlemen what could be on the line with question number 5.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is why I love asking question number 5, because question number 5 can make or break you. Question number 5 can win you the debate or lose in the debate. Question number 5 will decide your fate. Y'all brought this debate, but you got to bring it one more time. Cam, I'm starting with you. Okay? Man, just got to take a step back because y'all did y'all thing. I got to catch my breath.
Amen.
This debate, y'all starting round 2 off crazy. Let's get it going. There's a lot of sports. The major sports, the sports we love watching. But my question to you is, which sport has the best athletes? Which sport has the best athletes? The time starts when you start talking. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'll ask you again. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, floor is yours.
For me, the best athletes, to me, are football players. You have to use multiple skills at once, and at once while you're playing. You talk about a combination of speed, power, agility, all at once. Lateral quickness, stop and go. Football is very. You have to be very athletic to play football. And if you think about it, most of your football players can play any sport. Most of them come from basketball. Some even, play, other sports. You got your football players. Think of your football players as dual threat athletes. Dion, Bo, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson. These are football players that's playing that's dominant that can play other sports and be good at other sports as well. So when I look at that, football players can translate. So I look at that, and even if you look at your big guys, think about it. What sport where you having 6'5", 260-pound guys running 4.4s? That's insane. Like you don't see that in any other sport besides football, where a defensive lineman can chase down a running back or can chase down a receiver that's doing the receiver screen, in open field. That's insane, freakish athleticism. And what we're seeing in football each and every year is getting more and more athletic. Bigger corners, being able to cover in space, especially with the rules given it is now, with the corners being able to keep up. Lateral movement is just is too much in football. Is just too athletic. I go with football players with them being
Time.
the most athletic.
Okay. Jay, what sport has the greatest athletes of all time? I'm going to ask you twice just to make sure. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you really ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Time starts whenever you start talking, my friend. The floor is yours.
Man, there's always this one question in these that we end up with the same answer. This is what I wanted to be a natural answer for me, because this is naturally the easiest answer here. It has to be football. The dudes in the trenches alone, the offensive linemen in this league. A few years back, we could talk about other sports, but now 300-pound, 365 pound, running 4.5, running 4.6. Our tight ends are now look like receivers. I mean, you got guys like Waller out there that I can't really tell the difference. Is he a tight end? Is he a receiver? We got guys like Alvin Kamara now in the backfield, running backs, Dalvin Cook, that are just ridiculous speeds, ridiculous size, ridiculous power smashed in, and then the IQ level of these football players has changed. So now they're actually able to instinctively allow their athletics, or their athletic ability to show and scream out on the football field. I mean, every single position has grown leaps and bounds over the years. Look at the quarterback position itself. You got guys like Lamar Jackson back there. Just freakish athletic, tall, can throw the football 60, 70 yards on the run, on the stride, and then accelerate. Probably he looks a little Usain Boltish out there. So again, it has to be football. There's no other answer.
Time. Okay. Y'all said y'all answers. Y'all better bring it on these rebuttals. Y'all better prove to me why your answer was the correct answer. Kim, starting with you. You got 1 minute. Floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. Y'all asked, who got the better athletes, and that's why you got to break it down in specifics. So I break it down. You look at a player like Randy Moss, who was all state in basketball, played with Jason Williams, went to state finals in basketball as well. But he's a football player. It translates, because of the agility and the footwork that you must have as a football player. It's going to translate over to mostly any sport. And when you talk about T.O. could have been a basketball player. He actually played in the United States Basketball League when it was a league. But obviously he's a football player. Football comes first, but he can translate to multiple sports. That's where football sticks out more to me, because football can go from sport to sport. And you look at Chad Ochocinco. He even made a soccer team. So if you go there, that's what I say. Footwork and what football brings helps carry over to other sports, and that's why football athletes are the best athletes.
Okay, Jay. Rebuttal can make or break you, my friend. The floor is yours. You ready?
Yep. Just like I mentioned, my honorable mention, you had Charlie Ward, players like that, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. I mean, Usain Bolt, we see the speed out there and the athleticism of him, and they automatically put him on a football field and see that dude run. You know, you look at not only just his overall the athlete, but football is way more entertaining. And that's because you have some of the most tip top athletes in the world doing it. The amount of conditioning that these guys go through. You see high school football, they're out there at 8 o'clock at night. They're still out there training. I mean, it's something that you have to commit to long term. Basketball, we have guys like OJ Mayo and Michael Beasley and things like that take their timeouts here and there and don't really take it seriously. You're still able to get on the basketball court and play 48 minutes. You do that in football, you're not going to last, first of all, but you're also going to get hurt. Okay, so football has the best athletes, two-base sports players. It's all in all. You know, that's where it's at.
I'll tell you what, Will. Tell them you got to tell them we going to this 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. No, without question. We're definitely going to have to collaborate as judges. Fellas, thank you both for bringing the heat today. Definitely both of you showed out and did your thing. But as judges, we need to collaborate. We need to make sure we have this right. So we're going to take a little 30-second timeout. Everybody watching at home, let's see, we got a ton of live viewers right now. Be down in the comment section. Tell us who you think you won. You know, express your opinions on this. Let's see who you guys think will win with this debate.
Fact check.
All right, fellas. Tell you what, we have collaborated as judges and we have come to a decision. But first, before I give the results of the matchup, I just want my other two judges to speak on your two's performance a little bit today first. So, Trey, I'll give you the floor. Go ahead and just tell them how they did and everything like that.
First off, y'all didn't disappoint. This easily could have been a championship kind of a round. It literally came down to that last question. That's what we wanted to see. Y'all are evenly met. It literally came down to that last question. Who brought the more firepower? Who brought the facts? Who brought the best rebuttals? It came down to that, and it was great. I mean, honestly, it was one of the best debates I've seen all year. It was really neck and neck. I mean, Jay, you brought the heat, you brought facts, you brought everything. Cam, his calm self, brought fact. Everything was great. I just loved it. The two of y'all just know how to debate each other really well, and I could watch 3 or 4 more of these, to be honest with you.
All right, Chris. Chris, go ahead and give him some words.
This is why I asked question number 5. Because when these two guys are going, they're so evenly matched. They both bring the heat, the facts. They're both really have strong rebuttals. It's always going to come down to 5. You don't know how it's going to go, but you know they're both going to be so good. Somehow it's going to come down to that last question. Sometimes, you know, it's going to come down to who's going to be able to answer the best, who's going to be able to rebuttal the best. These two guys were strong. It came down to words and phrases. Congratulations to both you guys. Y'all brought it. I mean, you know, man, y'all did y'all thing. And to look at the viewers, look at the comments. Y'all did y'all thing. I'm proud of both you guys. Will, let them know what's going on.
All right, fellas. So I'm going to go question by question on this one because
I hate this. I hate this.
I figured you would. I'm a slowly peel the Band-Aid on this one, fellas. So,
The scab is
Right.
so let's start right at the top. Let's start with question 1. We had what college is DBU, and a 3-0 unanimous vote. We went with Coach Cam. Now, question 2, the best home run hitter of all time, another 3-0 unanimous vote, but for Jay. Now, question 3, this was not unanimous. In fact, a 2-1 vote in favor of Jay. Question 4, brought it right back. Best defender all time, NBA history, brought it right back to unanimity. Coach Cam walked away with that one. And then the winner on question 5, by unanimous decision on that question, and still defending his crown, Coach Cam, 3-2, able to pull out the victory. He is going to be moving on to the Final Four, able to win 3-2 over Jay today. Jay, you could have said any other sport.
Oh,
There's no other answer there.
Yeah,
There's
no
no
way.
answers.
No, there isn't. There's no.
There
it's
could
football.
be.
Oh,
Jay,
you could've-
Keep
Hey,
pretending to
that's
rebuttal.
what got me. That's what got me. Doesn't matter. Just say anything.
You
Let's
got to
say
say
anything.
something else.
You guys know me. I'm factual actuals. I'm not about to sit up here and
That's what I am too.
my rebuttals.
But you could have said
That the wall that's white is pink because I have to believe that.
I mean, I understand. But dang, you could have said baseball. You'd have been like, well, those football players play
But
baseball.
Every single athlete he listed played
You could have
baseball,
flipped
too.
on
You
him.
could have just flipped it right there.
Oh,
You had
And-
potential, man.
Yeah,
That man said Deion, Bo Jackson, Kyler, Russ, they were all drafted in baseball too. I mean, anything. You could have said, you could have said badminton.
you could have said the chess club. Could have
Chess
said the
club.
chess club.
Hey, and I thought about it with the answers that you guys gave me last time with the Lou Alcindor one, and I stuck to my own self, man. I'm true to myself.
No, we respect you for it. You brought
Hey,
it.
man, you brought it.
Listen, you were close, man. This was close, man. We definitely gonna talk about it.
Hey, Cam.
Hey,
y'all
brother.
brought
I
it.
mean,
Y'all brought it.
It was good. It was definitely good for
So
sure.
Jay,
Every round was close. I
Jay,
know we said unanimous, but it came down to words and phrases.
it did. It
It really
definitely
came
did.
and rebuttals. It really came down to rebuttals on almost every single one.
Jay, I'll give you the floor first. Any closing words for Coach Cam and anything else?
Hey, man. Look, if I'm gonna lose, it has to be to the champ. He's gonna win a second time.
Wait. Not if
It has
the
to
two
be a
guys
champ.
were in the finals who are also judges right now have something to say. Will, am I right?
Hey.
Hold on, Mr. Brown. You gonna have your couple of seconds. Let me get a second thought. Since I have to lose, it has to lose. I have to lose to the champ. He won last time. He gonna have to bring it home this time just for scooping this one up. This should have been a showdown, but again, Cam, you brought it. You bring it every single time. I enjoy watching you. But that fifth question, man, this is the Lou Alcindor ones again, man.
I know.
We can't answer. And
Man, we leave it open-ended questions so you can just you can take anything and just man, if you would have gave me something else, Jay, it would have been so much harder.
Like
But-
you could have said chess club. You could have said the debate team.
Yeah,
And I know you want to stay true to yourself, and I respect that. But in a debate, you got to realize when you repeat an answer,
it's hard.
it's hard unless you would have
Hard.
said something that he didn't say.
The only thing I was gonna say was the fact checks. He didn't fumbled up on the rebuttals against my facts a couple of times and making me
You
look
won those. And you won those.
Yeah, you won.
and you won those. You did.
played. But yeah, besides that, man, it is what it is, man. I'm going against the best. Sometimes you swing and miss, like the strikeouts in baseball. But sometimes you hit that motherfucker home run. So there'll be another.
Yes,
All right.
indeed.
There will be another for sure. But as of right now, Coach Cam solidifying himself in the Final Four for the debates. Coach Cam, winner's circle, go ahead and take it away.
Hey man, tough competitor, with Jay. One of the best, I think one of the best debaters in our network. So I knew when I seen the bracket, I figured I would see him again. And it was tough. It was definitely tough there. You got a minute for that rebuttal. You try to get everything in that minute, and sometimes you can't. But I'm happy to get the win. Happy to move on. Survive in advance, just like March Madness style. Move on to the Final Four, and hey, whoever, I don't know who's on the bracket. I don't really focus on who next. I focus on the opponent that's at hand. So whoever's next gotta come with it, because you can't beat the champ by decision. You gotta knock him out. So and I got a tough little chin, so I plan on standing.
All right. Coach Cam with the words of a champion yet again. Coach Cam, the first member of the ASAP network to solidify himself in the Final Four. We were going to see a couple more debates later on this week.
Yes.
I know myself, I'll be taking on Mess Around. Chris Brown down there in the corner will be taking on Nate the Great. And later on, we will also see Landon, the young buck, taking on J-Mac. So we will see exactly who else can solidify their spot in the Final Four. But until then, if you like what you saw today, you're going to see two of these gentlemen yet again right after this on ASAP Real Talk. Coach Cam and Chris Brown will be there yet again right after this debate. So we're about to go live right back after this and run it back on Real Talk. Catch the best news and NFL and NBA topics on this network. Go ahead, catch them out. But until then, congratulations, Coach Cam, solidifying your spot, and we will see you all on the next one. Take it easy.
Peace.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces.